Public speaking is an untapped superpower. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I want to talk to you today about public speaking and how that power is something that is untapped. Most people do not leverage the power of public speaking. And by definition, public speaking is whenever more than one person can hear you. So you're not in a closed off conversation where you're in a room with one other person. You can be at Starbucks or at a dinner having a meal. And when you're speaking, somebody else can hear you. So technically, we all speak in public all the time. But usually in those settings, people aren't directly listening to us. So it's not as scary. But if you want to think about the actual definition of public speaking, and hopefully that can help you get over that fear of public speaking, just realize that you're doing it no matter what. But I really want to talk about the power of public speaking and why you need to get started with it. And then I'll share a couple of things to help you actually get started with that because you can't just get on stage and speak in front of people or create an event or create a lunch and learn and be able to gain that following to come listen to you speak. So public speaking has the power to get your message out, to create this massive income for yourself, as well as impact. And more importantly, the impact. And when you create more and more impact, that income will come along with that. But there's always that caveat. You have to be willing to create value, to provide service, to just help others to create the impact. And then with that, that income does come along the way. But public speaking allows you to be able to get out your message in a clear and concise way. Because if you've heard anybody that they know what they're doing, they're very knowledgeable, very smart, like an engineer, for instance, or a computer science person. We see these programmers, these engineers who they know so much, they're so intelligent, and they know how to program things, they know how to design things that it's unbelievable what they can do with their skill set, with that knowledge they have in their mind, in their brain. But the problem is they can't tell somebody else how to do it for the most part. There's definitely some of those engineers and programmers that can do that. And those are the ones that end up being more successful because they're able to transfer that knowledge, transfer that information for others to understand. But if you're not able to transfer this knowledge, you're missing out on a lot that you could be doing with your company. But also, from a business owner perspective, if you are not able to relay a message to your customers or your potential customers to help them understand why your product is superior to somebody else's product, it's also going to impact you and your business and the people that work for you. So, public speaking has so much power behind it because it allows people to be able to understand. It allows them to understand what your product, what your service, who you are, so they can get to know, like, and trust you. And I've probably said this several times, but this is so important for you to understand. When it comes to public speaking, it's all about building credibility, all about building that know, like, and trust factor. And when somebody's listening to you, that means they're not listening to your competition. They're not listening to anybody else because they are listening to you, which comes down to even more power behind your speaking. I can get on my phone, which is right here, and I can scroll through social media. I can be looking at ad after ad after ad or post after post after post and see all these things. But what's going to capture my attention is you speaking about your product or service or speaking about yourself personally. That's what's going to capture my attention, but not if you're talking in a way that just comes off as really boring and you sound like Eeyore and you just really want to talk about your product and how great it is, but you just sound really bored. You sound very monotone. You have to have excitement in it. I'm really excited to talk to you today about my product and how it actually impacts so many people because without my product, I wouldn't have been able to make such and such happen. For instance, I'll talk about myself real quick just to give you an example of that. I actually had a client who I helped with prepping for his speech to be able to get on stage, and he did an amazing job on stage. And then just through a continued encouragement, now he's starting a podcast. He's looking at doing an event for himself next year for part of his mastermind group. But that's all because I was there encouraging him. I was giving him help. Yes, we did work together. There was an exchange of money, a value exchange there, but still the fact that I was there encouraging him and not just, hey, I took your money, great, here you go, here's a couple things give you. I encouraged him beyond those coaching sessions to be able to do more than that. Our coaching had nothing to do with the podcast, starting a podcast or starting an event. It was all about him getting on stage. But through that encouragement, I was able to help make changes for him. But that happened because I spoke to him. I was speaking about things that he could do to help his company. And through my other videos, my other things on YouTube, my podcast, my social media posts, all of that gave him that courage to do that. But if it wouldn't have happened if I didn't speak publicly. So you speaking out to your audience, to the world, if you will, to the internet, is going to allow you to be able to impact people because the message that you share. And that's what I mean behind the power of public speaking, because you can speak things to people and get them to change, get them to want to change on their own, have a willingness and a desire to change because you are speaking that into their lives. You are pricking their hearts and their minds to be able to make that change. But that's because of who you are and sharing that personal side of you as well. Because I can come up here and say everything like every other motivational speaker. And okay, cool. That's great information, Philip. It's kind of motivational, but you're not going to be inspired. And that's a big difference there. Motivated means, oh, I'm ready to go. Yeah. Cool. But then I hit a hard time and you know what? Yeah, I mean, I'm just not feeling motivated today. And you're going to stop. But if I inspire you, that means no matter what, you are going to do what it is that I was talking about, that I inspired you to do. And even when you hit that obstacle, you're going to keep going because you are so inspired. You're willing to change. You're willing to do whatever it takes. And that's the true power behind public speaking, behind sharing your message, sharing your values, sharing what it is that your product can do for somebody, and not just on a surface level that, hey, if you buy my product, you're going to get better at public speaking. But what does that look like if you get better at public speaking? Your relationships are going to get better. You're going to create more impact in this world the way that you want to create that impact. You're going to be able to help your employees because your income in your business is going to go up because people are going to be attracted to you. You're going to build the know, like, and trust factor that is necessary in order for your business to continue to grow. But if you don't show that excitement, if you don't inspire people through your word, through your visual cues as you speak, you're not going to create the impact that you want to. And that is the power of public speaking. So how can we make this power actually happen? Right here, if you're listening on the podcast right now, or if you're watching this on YouTube, two amazing ways to create impact. And I would say if YouTube is probably even better because you're getting to see me while I talk. You're going to hear me while I talk. You're going to see my emotions, my expressions. Plus, YouTube is a search engine. You can continue to search that later and later and find it. And YouTube also pushes videos like this if you happen to watch something similar, and it'll push it into your feed as well for you to go check out. So YouTube does a great job with that. Where podcasts, I mean, they're okay. They might show something that, hey, here's something like what you listen to right now. And you could search, but you have to be intentional about that search too to be able to find me. The search is not near as good as it is on YouTube, but podcasts are still great in that way. So two platforms right there to start getting that message out, to create the inspiration, to help somebody change, to be that catalyst in their life to make that change. But then also social media really can be any platform. My preferred platforms are Facebook and LinkedIn, which I'm starting to push a lot more as well from a professional perspective. I don't have that one down, but my network is mainly tied up from the online perspective in Facebook. I love it. I can build communities in that, which I have two. I have a free one, Speaking with Confidence. If you want to join that, find that on Facebook. And then I have the Speaking Sessions Lounge, where we're going to actually get more one-on-many interactions. So we do 2 calls a month where we do group coaching, and there's a few other things, but happy to talk about that if you want to talk about that later. But I've built 2 communities there, plus all the mastermind groups that I'm a part of that are there on Facebook, and just being able to post and interact in different ways within Facebook. So I'm a huge Facebook person still, even though there's some things I don't like about it. As you may or may not know, I got banned a couple weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, from the posting of this video. But that's because of my own stupidity and my lack of communication there. Basically, if you didn't hear it, I was flying to Pennsylvania to do a speaking engagement, and I said, hey, as I posted, flying from Greenville to Pennsylvania, gonna go drop some bombs, essentially. And yeah, flight dropping bombs, probably not the best choice of words, which Facebook picked it up. Thankfully, not really. And they said, yeah, you're a terrorist or terrorist activities. So I got banned for 24 hours, which was fun, which was fine. But to say all that, actually, to also make sure that you're not only focused on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, all those good things, which are perfectly fine, which you need to be on, and then the podcast and YouTube. Make sure you diversify, first of all, on social media. Don't be stuck on one platform, because in this case, I posted it across, actually, in this one, I only posted on Facebook. But if I would have posted that across multiple platforms, maybe I wouldn't have been kicked off of the other ones, but I was on the one which was Facebook, of course. But because I would have been diversified, if I had posted across multiple, I may have not gotten kicked off of all of them or banned for the 24 hours. But also, you want to make sure that you are getting out there in public as well, which I mentioned lunch and learns a little bit, but you need to build up your credibility first before you can really get into those lunch and learns. Start building up that credibility, or get with somebody who has that credibility and see how y'all can partner together so that you can create an event and create your authority within that. But if you're not speaking, if you're not doing videos right now, especially on social media, you are missing out on so much, because every platform right now is pushing video content, minus LinkedIn. LinkedIn's not really pushing it so much, but I know they do like it as well. But every other platform is pushing video content. So you need to get that video out there, get your message out there to create more reach and more awareness of your brand, of yourself, so you can get better at public speaking, so you can create more impact, as well as be there in your community. Because what happens if all these social media platforms shut down, or they cut off the internet for a day, like they did with Facebook and Instagram? I guess it wasn't the internet, but they cut off Facebook and Instagram. What was it, early 2022? I forgot when it was, but they cut them off for a whole day to mitigate some losses, I believe. But that's a whole nother thing. But they cut it off for a day, and so many people lost so much money because everything was tied in social media for them. So while it is a good thing to put videos out there to be able to build up that inspiration for those that you normally wouldn't get to meet because they're in another state or another country or another city, it's still good to be in your hometown and hitting the ground, walking the pavement, so to say, getting on the corners and preaching to share your message, because you need to be diversified as well. But through that public speaking, through sharing your message on these different platforms, you're going to be able to create that impact that you need to create so that your business can continue to grow. So make sure you're practicing that public speaking. If you do need some help, I'm happy to help out. Reach out, send me a DM over on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you want to reach me at. I'm on pretty much every platform. But with that, guys, go out there, share your message today, do a video. If anything, if you've taken anything from this episode, make sure that you do a video today. I promise you, it'll be a little scary, But if you do it day after day, it gets easier and easier. And guess what? People notice people more when they do videos. Like, man, you're doing videos all the time. Man, I see you all the time. It's because social media platforms are pushing it. Plus, it's your face. People are seeing your face and they're recognizing that you are posting if you're being consistent. And that's what's going to create that impact as well. People want to see you consistently. It's not going to happen at first, but continue to do it. Continue to put the videos out there, spread that good message, and create that impact. And make sure that you are the catalyst in somebody's life. But it all starts with public speaking. So go make that video today.